What's up, y'all? Welcome to the video. My name is Samuel. If you're new here, welcome. It is currently a little bit after 6:20, and I'm about to crush this English muffin and these electrolytes in prep to head to the pool to swim some laps. It is currently Friday, and I'm generally swimming like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, maybe with another day thrown in there somewhere. But the main topic of today's video is my current training split and the lack of endurance training, lack of cardio that's in there at the moment, much to my disappointment. And that has to do with both the off season and some injury recovery stuff that we'll get into a little bit later. I have a physical therapy appointment later this morning, so I need to go ahead and eat this so I can get to the pool so we can make it to that appointment on time. And I will bring you along for the ride. So back from swimming, which went just fine, and I've got to rush kind of to make it to this physical therapy appointment, but at the moment I'm just making breakfast. I'm going to do some eggs, and I'm also going to do some protein and try to get in basically as much food as possible right now, because after physical therapy I'm probably going to have to go straight to a client meeting, and then we're going to go to the gym around lunchtime. So the goal is to eat enough food now that I just need a little snack before we actually run out the door to the gym, or like en route to the gym right around lunchtime. And then I will eat my next real meal after that. This is a bigger breakfast than I normally eat. Normally on double training days, I try to train in the morning and then in the afternoon. But because of the schedule today, we have a small group that meets in our house this evening. We're gonna go to the gym around lunchtime. So this meal is pretty big, basically to just try to tide me over through the training session. And side note, I have no affiliation with them, but this is straight up the best protein I've ever tasted, so.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh,
Hey, how's it
you're
going?
Samuel?
I am.
Gavin.
So nice to meet you.
Yes.
All right, Gavin, I'll see you in a little bit.
Yeah, see you later. Nice to meet you.
I really appreciate everything.
Yeah, no
Thank you so
problem.
much. Physical therapy is done, and I'm now en route to my client meeting. That was unironically the best physical therapy experience I've ever had. If you're in the Treasure Valley, go check out ProMotion and work with Gavin, because first of all, it was an hour session, which I was not expecting. Normally it's like 20-30 minutes, and secondly, like, we did everything from like contrast therapy to TENS to stretching. It was a really great experience, and I have another appointment next week to hopefully kick this knee issue and get back to running very soon. But anyway, like I said, en route now to meet with this client to go over some content planning. We work with this client on a monthly basis, a retained basis, to do their monthly content marketing. And so the purpose of the meeting today is basically to do concepting and development for next month's media and our upcoming shoot. Hey, how are you guys?
Good.
Good to see you.
Oh my God, I wasn't sure.
No. back from physio and client meeting with a little bit of an outfit change. We're getting ready to go to the gym, and I have myself a little bit of food here, just pre-gym. This is leftover soup from last night, 3 medjool dates, and then some coffee, because I actually haven't had any coffee yet today. So
You're
this
so
is out of
friendly
focus.
for not having any coffee today.
Anyway, also a side note, I think my phone, I think it's done. It's been on its way out for a while, but like this morning I used it to film at the Y, and it's not so happy. I was trying to talk to my mom in the car earlier, and it died 3 times during our conversation. So I think that a new phone might be in my future. Anyway, I'm gonna eat this meal. It'll digest en route to the gym, and then we'll go ahead and hop into this training session. Today is a calisthenics focused upper body day, which I'm excited to bring you along for. So I will see you there. Today is the last day of my training split, last day of the week. It's calisthenics upper body day. I'm about 750 meters into 1,000 meter segment, which is what I normally do to warm up. And then we're gonna jump into the workout real quick, just so you have context. Back in September, my wife and I ran a marathon, and I really enjoy the process of training for that. It was awesome to explore endurance. I really like the fitness that I gained during that time, etc. And during the prep, I was injury free, which was awesome. But then during the actual race, just pushing as hard as I was, I did end up getting an injury, which is patellar tendonitis, which basically just means that right now I can't really run. And unfortunately, tendonitis takes a really long time to heal. So I'm basically looking for other means of maintaining my aerobic fitness that don't involve putting impact or load on my knee. So I'll get more into the specifics of my split. And I think the way that I'm gonna structure this edit is I'll just film all my sets, and then we'll hop into a little voiceover segment, and I'll basically explain my thought process behind my training right now, how I'm handling the off season, because I do intend to race in the spring, and how that interplays with the whole hybrid training, hybrid athlete thing.
All right, y'all, welcome to the workout. I've put today's workout on the screen and in the description if you want to give it a shot. And while these clips play, I'll walk you through my current weekly training split. So like I mentioned, I ended up with patellar tendonitis after the marathon in September, and I made the mistake of trying to push through it, which just made it worse. So my focus has shifted to rebuilding strength while trying to maintain a decent level of cardio, but I've cut out running as well as deadlifting because they seem to irritate it the most, and instead I'm currently swimming 3 or 4 times a week on top of my lifting volume. Sunday, I kick things off with a high CNS lower body day, and the main lift there is the barbell back squat. Monday, I do a low CNS pull day, which is primarily focused on pull-ups and rows. And then Tuesday is another high CNS day, but push, this time with the flat barbell bench as the main lift. Then on Wednesday, I take a rest day or an active recovery day, depending on how I'm feeling, to get ready for Thursday, which is a high CNS posterior chain day. This would be my deadlift day if my knee were healthy, but for now I'm just repeating Sunday's lower body session with some posterior chain focused core training. And then finally, Friday is what you're watching now, calisthenics upper body day. In my opinion, calisthenics are one of the most functional ways to train, and I also grew up doing gymnastics and just love moving my body in these modalities, so I dedicate 1 day a week to it. I really fell in love with the whole hybrid lifestyle when I was running so much earlier this year, and it's something that I'm excited to get back to. And this hiatus has kind of made me wonder, what defines a hybrid athlete? With everybody and their grandma putting it in their Instagram bios, you kind of wonder, what counts as hybrid training and how do you know if you're a hybrid athlete? So I'm going to attempt to answer that, or at least give my 2 cents on it later in this video. So stay tuned for that. All right, it's like 4:30. We're back from the gym, and workout was fine. I kind of felt going into it, like just tired, and I don't really know what the deal is. It's been a pretty long work week, and so I think maybe that has something to do with it. But had the workout and then ran a few errands, had a meal, knocked out some chores around the house. I'm just finishing up the work day with some client work, video editing specifically. I will say it's been kind of interesting filming myself, which first of all is difficult. I'm used to being behind the camera, not in front of it. But also like trying to wrap my head around like how do you approach something like a vlog or a YouTube video that's not as like high key commercial feeling and like make it feel relatable and everything. So as we go on in this channel, I'm sure I'll kind of experiment and try different techniques and stuff. But for this particular video, I'm trying to approach it a little bit more laid back than the first video. So if you haven't seen the first one, go watch it, and then I would love to know what you prefer.
Because because going too off and on for 25 years, I couldn't.
It is significantly later. It's like 7 p.m. and Sally and I are headed downtown to one of our favorite spots. It's called Bitter Creek Ale House, and we have a membership at the grocery store that we went to earlier today. It's a co-op that gets us a discount, so it's kind of a win-win. Anyway, after we got home from the gym, I knocked out some work on the computer and a little bit of yard work and chores and ate again and did some stuff. But our group that was supposed to be meeting this evening ended up being pushed back, or I guess just canceled. I think there's some kind of bug floating around that a bunch of people have, and several people reached out and said they weren't feeling well, and so we just made the decision to push it off. So rather than that, we're headed to dinner tonight, which is okay. It's not a consolation prize. Bitter Creek is a good spot. So with that being said, I think I'm gonna sign off now from the vloggy portion, but stay tuned because up next is my insight, at least, into what makes a hybrid athlete and whether I am one. So I hope you've enjoyed this vlog. If you have, please drop a like. And if you're new here, please subscribe. And let me know in the comments what you're interested to see next, because at the moment things are very fluid and I can kind of just make videos about anything. So the world can be your oyster depending on what you put in my comments. But I will see you guys later.
You asked me if people will ask you this. What is a hybrid athlete?
Yeah, I mean, off the cuff, I mean, it's not something I sit around and think about like a ton. But I think it's someone who is putting themselves in the arena and they are testing themselves one way or the other. Like it can be a variety of things, but like you're putting yourself out there, you're putting your goals out there, you know, and you're, you know, going to a race or a competition or an event or something, and you're putting your training, the work that you've been doing, to the test.
All right, it's a few days later, and I wanted to close out this video by addressing the question, or giving my 2 cents, I guess, on the question of what is a hybrid athlete? It's a term that's getting thrown around a lot. And it's something that I find interesting that it's being thrown around a lot because it seems like nobody can really tell us what it is. And that podcast, the Nick Bear podcast with Rich Ryan and Ryan Kent, that episode's really good. And I would highly recommend you go listen to that and listen to their definition. But I just thought I'd throw my hat in the ring and give my 2 cents on this. And I guess address also why I'm not going to make hybrid training my entire personal brand. I think the hybrid athlete can actually be fairly simply defined, and it's in the name. It requires 2 components. Number 1, you have to be hybrid, and number 2, you have to be an athlete. And the hybrid piece is what everybody tends to focus on and try to use as the defining term. Are you hybrid if you run and lift? Are you hybrid if you run and swim? Are you hybrid if you lift and swim? Like, what things do you have to be doing in order to be hybrid is what seems like most people are focusing on. But like they said in the podcast episode, which I'll link in the description, there's the athlete component. And I think that's what a lot of people are missing. You can be hybrid without being an athlete. And you can be an athlete without being hybrid. And so I think you have to have both. And to be hybrid is simply to be combining modalities of training. It's multimodal training, as opposed to being a bodybuilder or a runner or whatever. The reality is hybrid training or concurrent training, multimodality training isn't anything new. It's just been repackaged into this new thing that we're calling hybrid. But I think the important component is the athletic piece. That's what I'm really looking forward to in the spring. Once I get healthy again, I haven't picked my races, but I'm gonna be doing probably at least 2. And I think that's really the takeaway for me. So why does this matter? And the answer is it doesn't really. If you wanna call yourself a hybrid athlete, if I wanna call myself a hybrid athlete, fantastic. Especially if it's something that motivates people to go out and take care of their bodies. Like I said in the first episode, my goal with this channel is to share a life lived well, trying to live well, and taking care of your body is part of that. And so if people calling themselves something, whether it can be strictly defined or not, helps them to get motivated and go out and take care of their bodies, then that's probably a net positive. But on the other hand, it's just not that deep. And so am I a hybrid athlete? I don't really know, but I like mixed modal training. It's going to remain a staple for the rest of my life because we know that weight training and doing cardiovascular training is really important for health. But whether it has a name or not, whether it's accurately and specifically defined or not, I don't really care. My goal is just to live well. Part of that's taking care of my body, and if we're gonna call it hybrid, fantastic. If not, cool, I'll still be here. If you're still here, if you've made it this far in the episode, I really appreciate your support. Please drop a like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next episode.